Hello, my little artists. I hope you enjoyed the story we just listened to. And now it's time for us to do our art project. So today we are going to be making a watercolor sunflower. Now, it's kind of hard to see on my video here because my sunflower, when I use the yellow, it doesn't really show up that well, but it's a whole lot prettier in real life, I promise. So what we're going to do is a little bit different than what we normally do. I'm going to show you how to create this sunflower, and then you guys are going to do it on your own. So first thing we need to talk about is how we use water and our paintbrush, okay? Now our paintbrush, do I want to smush my paintbrush down like this? Can you see how my paintbrush is like smushing? That's not what we want to do. We don't want to smush it. We just want to swish it, okay? You just barely swish it because we're not really using paint today, so there's not a lot of color that we need to get off of our brush. We're just getting some water on it, okay? Because we're going to draw this picture with markers, and then we're going to use the paintbrush to make the magic happen. So right now, I'm going to get a fresh sheet of paper. I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm going to get me a fresh sheet of paper, and I'm going to show you how we do this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a black marker, and I'm going to draw a circle right here in the middle of my paper. Okay? And I want my circle to be about the same size as the palm of my hand. Okay? And then I'm going to make some little seeds. And I'm just going to make just some little lines going around in a circle. Because the best part about sunflowers are these sunflower seeds in the middle. How many of you guys like sunflower seeds? Raise your hand. I love sunflower seeds. They're so good. So I just added some seeds in the middle. And then I'm done with the center. Now I need to make some leaves. Okay, so I'm going to start with my yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the top. Now I don't want my yellow to touch the black. Okay, so I'm going to start a little bit above. And I'm going to make a curved line going up the top of my paper. And then it's going to curve down to the side. Okay, I'm making a petal. So it's like a curved sideways rainbow. And then another curved sideways rainbow going the other way. Okay, so then I'm going to do another one. And remember, I don't want my yellow to touch the black. Okay, and I'm just going to keep making my little curved rainbow smiley face lines all the way around my paper. Now, do they all have to look perfect? No. Don't all have to look perfect. And then I go back in the middle. Okay, so I've got one row of petals. Okay, now I'm going to add another row of petals. So watch what I do now. Now I'm going to put a petal in between these two. So I'm going to do a curved line up and a curved line down. And now it looks like this petal is behind these two. And I've got to do that all the way around. Okay? I'm going to keep going all the way around. Now this is what we call radial balance. And balance means that both sides of your paper are equal, that they've got enough, the same amount of artwork is on one side as the other. Because right now, is this balanced? I've got more up here than I do down here, right? Okay, so I want to make it balanced. So I want to keep adding all of these. Now, radial means in a circle, which is what we're doing, right? I'm going around in a circle. So this is what we call radial balance. And I'm just going to add my leaves all the way around. And now I've got a sunflower. Did you know sunflowers were that easy to draw? So easy. Okay, now to make my sunflower really stand out, the yellow doesn't really bleed very well when you add the water. So I'm going to take some orange and I'm just going to add 3 little lines in each of my petals, even the ones, I'm going to do 2 up in this one. We'll do 3 in the big ones and 2 in the little ones. So I'm just going to add some lines 3 in the big ones, 2 in the little ones. Oh, I did 3 in that one. Oops. Is that okay? Perfectly fine. What do we do with mistakes? We turn them into masterpieces. Okay, so now that I have my sunflower drawn, now it's time for the magic. Okay, so I'm going to get my paintbrush. I'm going to get a little bit of water on it, and I want to tap it against the side of the cup a couple times because I don't want all this water, because this water, there's like a ton of water on there. So I want to tap it a couple times to get that big drop of water off. And then I'm going to start in the middle and watch what happens when I go over my marker lines. See how this water, it's kind of turning this pretty greenish gray, because that's what color our black turns. But I go over my black, and then if my brush starts getting a little bit dry, I can swish it, tap it a couple times, and I got a little bit more water, and I can keep going around. I'm going to start with the center and get the center of my sunflower. And again, if you need more water, just swish it, tap it a couple times, and then start painting again. I'm just going to go around until I've got all that color there in the center. And now the center of my sunflower is all painted. Now, when I get ready to switch colors, I need to make sure I go back and swish, tap a couple times. Now I'm going to start with my leaves. Now, I want to make sure that I don't touch the black anymore. So I'm going to start with the orange, and I'm going to go up a little bit. Now these colors we kind of want to bleed together. We want that yellow and orange to kind of go together. So I'm going to go around and try not to get in my black, because then that's going to bring that black up into my leaf, into my petal rather. And now I've got my leaf colored in, or my petal. I keep saying leaf, it's petal. So now I'm going to do this one. And I'm just dragging some of that marker color into the petal, and then mixing it with the orange to give it that pretty color, pretty fall color. And you can see when I'm doing the yellow, it doesn't even look like you can see any color on my video, but when you're doing it yourself, you'll see the color. And then I'm going to get my orange and blend it in to that yellow, making sure I don't touch the black. And then I'm just going to go all the way around. We'll do all of my petals. Get that orange and kind of make it just kind of go throughout the petal. Give it a little bit of color. I think I like starting with the yellow first and then getting the orange and kind of making like little spikes. See how I kind of made little spikes coming out of it? I think I kind of like the way that looks. You can play around with it and figure out what you think looks best. But I think I'm going to continue doing that. I think I'm going to continue starting with the yellow and getting the top part of that petal yellow, and then come back and get a little bit of the orange and kind of just make like diagonal lines. It's kind of hard to see because my paper is wet, but can you see how the diagonal lines are just kind of coming out? I kind of like the way that looks. That's a cool effect. But you can play around and see some different things when you're doing yours and kind of see what you like the best and what you think is going to look better. But I kind of like having that yellow at the top and then just the orange down at the bottom. So I'm just going to go all the way around. I've got a little bit too much orange in that one. That's okay. Again, mistakes, turning them into masterpieces. That yellow first, and then I'm just going to keep going all the way around. Don't forget, when you swish your brush, tap it a couple times to get a little bit of the water off. You don't want too much water. And try to stay out of the black in the center, or else you're going to have that all up in your sunflower petals. Yeah, I think this is looking really pretty. Very cool. And this is an easy way to do watercolors if you don't have any paint at home. Because you could even do this with like a Q-tip. If you got a Q-tip at home, ooh, you can really see how I'm doing the orange on that one. Like if you got some markers and paper, and if you just got a Q-tip at home, you could do this with a Q-tip and it'll do the same thing. Very cool. Very cool. So now I've got a finished sunflower, watercolor sunflower. So you guys are going to get your paper out and you guys get to make your own watercolor sunflower today. So I'm going to leave this one up on the screen so you can see it. And I hope you have fun. And until next time.